Number 1. Adamantium Claws. One of the most iconic features of Wolverine are his adamantium claws. These claws aren't just weapons, but the ultimate symbol of raw power and ferocity. For those who might not know, adamantium is an indestructible metal alloy. Once it's superheated into liquid form and cools, it becomes utterly unbreakable, unless your name's Magneto. First appearing in Avengers number 66, the metal actually predates Logan himself, who made his debut in the Incredible Hulk number 181 a few years later. Pure adamantium is the top-tier stuff, virtually indestructible, and leagues above its cheaper knockoff, secondary adamantium. Fun fact, adamantium was inspired by adamantine, the mythical metal that made Hercules' golden mace. Talk about legendary roots. So what do these claws mean for Wolverine? They're more than just sharp blades for slicing and dicing, although they excel at that. Wolverine uses them for everything from climbing walls to blocking attacks and shredding everything in his path. He's even used them to open a few beers. But there's a downside. Wolverine's claws are all about getting up close and personal. If you're not into hand-to-hand combat, you'd be in trouble. Lucky for him though, he's got that unrelenting healing factor and a mindset to match his namesake. Those claws aren't just weapons, they're part of who he is, embodying his relentlessness, resilience, and tenacity. Want more on Wolverine's bony backstory and how those claws came to be? Stick around, we've only scratched the surface. But before we do, a quick ask that if you're new to the channel and you like obscure lore, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss these deep dives. Number 2. Bone Claws. Wolverine's bone claws are the ultimate plot twist for anyone who thought he was all about that shiny, indestructible adamantium life. Imagine peeling back the armor on a knight and finding raw, unpolished bone underneath. It's messy, primal, and gross, but also profoundly human. That happened in X-Men's 1994 Fatal Attractions arc, when Magneto ripped the adamantium straight out of Logan's body like a kid just murdering a Capri Sun. Those claws weren't a Weapon X upgrade like we thought for years. They were all Wolverine. Bone claws, jagged and very much not indestructible, weren't about perfection. They were part of a man who gets cut open by his own skeleton to show his ferocity. Without adamantium, Wolverine wasn't the unstoppable force we'd come to know. He was vulnerable, with an imperfect weapon that still needed to get up close and personal, but didn't provide the same threat as before. Or did it? Logan is nothing if not a tenacious guy, so he took it in stride and seemed more than happy to tank the pain of using his literal skeleton to fight. These claws are like the Wild West version of his usual sleek arsenal. Much less surgical strike and much more animal fury, and they hurt him when he used them. Wolverine was never about being invincible, he was about being unstoppable. The bones only intensified that. This guy was more likely to get hurt and way less threatening to steel doors, but no less menacing to anything with a pulse. The best part? His fights became personal. With Sabretooth, it wasn't just claws clashing, it was pure, raw fury. Wolverine has always been the epitome of always getting back up, but with Bone Claws, dude went from being the ultimate can opener to making you wince every time he got hit, and still getting up to finish the fight. So, what's next? Get ready to sink your claws into the wildest versions of Wolverine. Number 3. Psionic Claws. Although not Logan himself, Wolverine's daughter, Wild Thing, doesn't just follow in her dad's footsteps. She's carving her path, literally and, well, mentally. Her psionic claws aren't your standard issue Wolverine hardware. Imagine lightsabers, but instead of slicing through steel, they cut straight into your mind. A swipe from these bad boys doesn't just hurt, it messes with your deepest fears and regrets. It's like being stabbed and forced to relive that one time you called your teacher mommy. It's just too brutal. These claws first appeared in the MC2 universe in the 5th issue of J2, introducing a twist on Wolverine's legacy. Instead of adamantium, Wild Thing's claws are pure psychic energy, initially appearing as glowing projections, but when she focuses, they harden into blades that can shred almost anything. Her claws have a turbo mode, ideal for taking fights from bad to downright devastating. Not to be confused with X-23, aka Laura Kinney, who you might know from Logan. Wild Thing gets her psychic claws from her mom's side of the family. Apparently in MC2, Logan got down with Daredevil's girl Elektra, and the result was Rena Logan. That's why the psychic blades look a little like Elektra's trademark Psy blades. Get it? Psy blades? Like psychic blades? Maybe I'm overthinking this. Her powers are more than just destructive, they're symbolic. They reflect her dual nature, the raw ferocity inherited from her father, and her growing ability to strategize like a master tactician. blending Wolverine's primal instincts with Elektra's calculating mind, an unbeatable combo. But enough about psychic claws from an alternate universe. Let's get back to Logan himself. Number 4. Hot Claws. When Persephone, the Queen of the Dead, resurrected Wolverine in Return of Wolverine number 5, fans were already bracing for something wild. But Hot Claws? That was weirdly next level. Imagine Wolverine's already terrifying adamantium claws. Now turn up the heat on that unbreakable metal until they glow hot enough to qualify as lightsabers. That's enough to make General Grievous jealous. So what are Hot Claws exactly? They're Wolverine's claws, supercharged with heat, capable of slicing through anything and leaving destruction and ashes in their wake. A swipe doesn't just cut, it melts, burns, or obliterates whatever it touches. The catch? They only activated when Logan hit Berserker mode, his infamous rage state, like giving an angry Short King a flamethrower. But Wolverine learned to control them over time, using the fiery claws strategically because they had a price. The energy needed to fuel these claws drained Wolverine's healing factor, leaving him vulnerable after each use. Every fight became a gamble. Could he finish the job before his body gave out? This wasn't the Logan who could tank a punch from the Hulk and laugh it off. For the first time, he had to play it smart. Not something he's usually known for. The Hot Claws eventually fizzled out as his healing factor stabilized, but they left a lasting impression. Making a reckless character like Wolverine have to contend with a double-edged sword made him more thoughtful than we're used to seeing. But what happens when you remove that price? Number 5. Diamond Claws. What's cooler than Wolverine's claws? How about claws made of diamonds? Enter Diamond Patch, a mind-blowing Wolverine and Emma Frost mashup from the Warp World universe. These claws don't just look like they belong in a luxury jewelry ad, they're deadly sharp and loaded with telepathic power. Imagine getting slashed by literal diamonds, the most expensive wound of your life. At the same time, your darkest secrets are being pulled straight out of your mind. It's the ultimate combo, physical and psychological warfare. Who needs subtlety when you can outshine and outthink your enemies? Diamond Patch made his glittering debut during the Infinity Wars issue number 3, and let's say Loki was not ready for him. With Wolverine's battle instincts and Emma's telepathy, Diamond Patch turned every fight into a psychological smackdown. He didn't just overpower opponents, he outmaneuvered them. It's like bringing a cheat code to a boss battle. With one swipe of those claws, enemies were physically wrecked, and their lies and secrets were exposed faster than a reality show scandal. You can think of these claws as the Swiss Army knife of mutant powers. They cut, they reveal, and they dominate. Every battle is more than fists and anger, it's a mind game, with Diamond Patch playing 4D chess while his opponents were stuck on checkers. In this instance, blondes definitely do have more fun. But Diamond Patch is nothing compared to what he himself glimpsed when he stabbed a Watcher. Say hello to number 6, Phoenix Claws. Wolverine with the Phoenix Force? Boy, that's like handing the Hulk the Infinity Gauntlet. It's a recipe for cosmic-level chaos. When Logan becomes the Phoenix's avatar, he's no longer just the angry Short King we know and love. He's a walking, slashing, reality-bending disaster. The claws? Still there, still sharp, but backed by enough cosmic energy to make even Galactus sweat. So, what are Phoenix Claws? Imagine his usual adamantium slicing power, but he can now burn through the fabric of existence itself. Wolverine's claws, supercharged by the Phoenix, could cut through space, time, and probably the fourth wall if he wanted. Those fiery talons first showed up in what-if stories where Logan's raw ferocity meets the Phoenix's cosmic might, or lack of control. Nothing like unbridled power mixed with unbridled rage, right? Why does this terrifying combo exist? Simple. The Phoenix Force loves a challenge, and Logan's barely contained rage is a goldmine of potential. It's like putting jet fuel on a campfire. His healing factor? Supercharged. His anger? Weaponized. The result? A Wolverine that isn't just unkillable, he's untouchable, unstoppable, and one bad day away from rewriting the universe. Suddenly everybody has wacky sideburns. But here's the rub. Cosmic claws come with cosmic consequences. The Phoenix amplifies everything, including Logan's pain and rage, making him a volatile force even his closest allies have to watch out for. But what if we stepped outside the usual X-Men fare to the wider Marvel universe? Wolverine plus Phoenix is awesome, but what about number 7, Venom Claws? Wolverine's Venom Claws? Imagine if the Hulk and Spider-Man had a baby. Terrifying, right? This chaos begins when Logan merges with the Venom symbiote during a fight with the Grindel spawns in the Vietnam War. Yeah, Logan got up to some wild stuff back in the day. It's like an experiment gone wrong. Logan gets a Venom clone grafted to him, and suddenly his powers go haywire. First off, our vertically challenged Angry Boy gets the Hugh Jackman treatment. He gets taller. But also, he's way stronger. And the claws? Yeah, those can now pierce the very fabric of reality. This new symbiote-infused Wolverine has the strength of a tank, the speed of a bullet train, and even Spider-Man-like skills, wall climbing, and acrobatic agility. If Venom makes randos like Eddie Brock into beasts, just imagine what it does to a mutant who already has zero chill. The claws are longer, sharper, and more flexible thanks to Venom's slimy influence. At times, the claws morph into massive, eldritch tentacles that would make anyone think they stepped into a horror movie. Gross? Awesome? Both. But of course, there's always a catch. Sonic attacks are still his weakness, making the symbiote bond a bit of a double-edged sword. After a brutal battle, Logan breaks free from the symbiote's grip, only for it to find its way back into his claws, making them even more deadly. Okay, so Wolverine plus Venom is a crazy combo, but what if we took crossovers to a whole new level with number 8, Bat Claws? Dark Claw is the ultimate hero of the Amalgam Comics universe. First appearing in 1996's Legends of the Dark Claw, he has the best traits of Wolverine and Batman put into one epic package. Picture this. Wolverine's raw power and healing infused with Batman's genius-level intellect and gadgets. You've got a hero who doesn't just fight, he outsmarts, overpowers, and outlasts anyone who gets in his way. Remember how Batman was always just a man underneath the cowl? Yeah, not anymore. Let's start with those claws. Dark Claws aren't just your typical Wolverine claws. They're made of adamantium, yes, but with a twist. These claws combine Wolverine's raw strength with Batman's precision. It's less I came in like a wrecking ball and more laser cannon death sentence. Wolverine's claws are wild and unpredictable, but with Batman's control, Dark Claw's strikes are clean, lethal, and calculated. He's like a storm of scalpels with a brain to match. And then there's his healing factor. Dark Claw isn't just recovering from wounds, he's returning from injuries stronger than before. Broken bones? Meh. Poison? No problem. Dark Claw is like that action figure that won't stay down, only way cooler. Beyond the brawn, Dark Claw also has superhuman senses. He can smell a flower from miles away and hear a pin drop in a crowded room. He's got serious edge. And it doesn't stop there. He's also packing some serious smarts, making him one of the sharpest heroes. With his utility belt and the signature Clawcopter, he's got all the gadgets a nearly immortal meta-mutant could ever want. Not that he needs them. So, why settle for a hero who can throw punches when you can have one who's as sharp as a blade and has all the right toys? Dark Claw is the perfect blend of strength, smarts, and sheer badassery. Ready for more? Number 9. Infernal Claws. Wolverine's Infernal Claws are like the fiery, rage-filled cousin of his usual adamantium, if his claws were dipped in hell itself. It all started when a demon named Bagra Ghul, sent by Mephisto, yeah, that Mephisto, decided to possess somebody. Then, in Ghost Rider Weapons of Vengeance number 17, the Hellspawn merged with Logan, giving birth to Hellverine. This wasn't just a more power situation, but a full-on transformation. When Wolverine bonded with this demon, his claws weren't just slicing through steel anymore, they were engulfed in hellfire, turning him into a walking, burning vengeance machine. Wolverine, possessed by a demon, wielding blades of hellfire, goes so hard that the cover art looks like it could be the greatest metal album of all time. The Ghost Rider crossover in 2023 asked the question, what if we took the world's angriest man and turned him into a literal demon? What could go wrong? The real kicker? Despite all this demonic energy, Logan remained human. His sheer will was strong enough to prevent the demon from taking over and proving that the man inside was still in charge, no matter how fiery or furious he got. Wolverine is characterized by his indomitable will. The dude straight up got possessed by a demon and said no. In a twist of redemption, Logan chose to pass on the fiery spirit to his son, Akaho, proving that even in the face of hellish power, Wolverine can fight for humanity. So we've had crossovers and cosmic entities and actual demons. The only thing left would be number 10, Blessed Odin Claws. Wolverine's Blessed Odin Claws. Now that's a game changer. Imagine Wolverine, already a powerhouse with those adamantium claws and healing factor, suddenly getting a divine upgrade from Odin, the All-Father himself. In Marvel's Fear Itself, number 7, Wolverine receives a blessing that transforms him into something more than just a mutant. The Odin force pulses through him, giving the claws a divine aura that makes them almost unstoppable. Forget about breaking through steel, these claws are slicing through godly power like it's butter. During the Fear Itself storyline, Iron Man and Odin work to create Uru-based weapons to stand against the Serpent. Wolverine gets not only magical god-killing blades, but also a full suit of Uru armor. You know the stuff Thor's hammer is made of? Yeah, that. Now picture that as a suit of armor around the most ferocious dude alive. One of the most jaw-dropping moments came when he faced off with the Juggernaut. Usually, the Juggernaut's strength is pretty much unbeatable, but Wolverine, wielding the Odin-blessed claws, sliced right through him. It clearly shows how dangerous even a little bit of divine power can make someone. Unfortunately, the blessing was temporary. After the battle, Odin returned his gift, and Wolverine returned to his regular, though still terrifying self. But for a moment, Wolverine was an unstoppable force. And those are our top 10 major variants of Wolverine's claws. So, which ones are your favorite? Which ones were maybe a little too much? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Let us know which other characters we should cover. See you in the next video.